Make the ground shake.
Hello YouTube, this is Fairy Tail Chapter 495 review, and if someone had told me that this chapter was going to be as hype as it was, I would have done a live reaction. And the reason why I say that is you had to see my face and what I did when I saw like one of the last pages. I'm not going to go into it yet because I want to talk about the beginning of the chapter. So, honestly, I thought this chapter was going to be really slow and kind of boring until the end. Now, the beginning of the chapter, we basically just get some dialogue, and then they head in against the Alvarez Empire, and basically, they're just fighting the mini dudes. They're just fighting some of the soldiers, that nobody who's really going to do any damage against Fairy Tail, and basically, they're just wiping them out one by one, and God Serena shows up, and I'm like, alright, so we're going to get some, action here, and I actually want to apologize for my last review. God Serena, Walt, and Bradman, they're dead. They're just like reincarnates that Nineheart did. So Nineheart, he's not dead, which makes no sense to me, but God Serena, Walt, and Bradman, they're dead. They're just reincarnates. They're just puppets, basically, fighting, kind of like in Naruto. So God Serena, we get to see more of his power, because I know a lot of people, they didn't like the fact that we didn't get to see much of God Serena and that he just got one-shotted by Agnologia, which that's still pretty cool. And now that we know that he's just a reincarnate, this doesn't take away anything in my opinion. So we know Agnologia is still a savage and that he actually did kill God Serena. And we get to see more powers from God Serena, and it's pretty cool. We already knew he had like 8 Dragon Slayer magic, like orbs in him. So he has Fire Dragon, he has Purgatory, he has Water, and he has Storm. That's the ones we've seen so far. And honestly, when he used the Fire one against Natsu, I was like, oh yeah, Natsu's got this. And then he used Water, I was like, oh crap. So basically, I didn't think that Natsu was going to have a problem against him. I thought maybe some bullcrap was going to happen and people were going to get mad, but I wasn't really going to be that mad about it. But Hiro Mashima, he just did this so good. Like, he showed the character that I've been waiting for so long. I don't know if I said the last chapter review or the chapter review before that, but if you've been watching my chapter reviews for a while, then you would know that I've been waiting for Gildarts to show up in this war ever since it really started. So, for him to show up and with that long hair, like, you should have seen me. You should have seen me. I was sitting on the couch. I was reading the chapter. I was like, alright, well, the chapter's kind of a little boring. Now that God Serena's showing up, it's getting a little action. I didn't really know how many pages were left. I was like, maybe there's like 3 or 4 pages left. And I flipped the page. Well, before I flip the page, we get to see, someone in the background, kind of hazy. We don't see them that much. I was like, oh, okay, so we're getting a character. I was like, maybe Agnologia, maybe Zeref. I never thought of Gildarts. I swiped the page. The first thing I see Gildarts. I was like, oh my gosh. I jumped off the couch. I ran down the hallway, and I ran back, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is hype. Like, you should have seen me. I was fanboying so much, and I still am, honestly. This chapter, I want to give it an 8 or 9 out of 10 because the pure hypeness of Gildarts, and especially what he said. He goes, I'm hungry as hell, move out of the way. And now we know why this chapter is called Hungry as Hell. I thought it was going to be Natsu, he was like, oh, I'm hungry as hell, because even in this chapter, Natsu was like, I'm hungry. But no, Gildarts is hungry. So now that Gildarts is in the field, we need to see some of his power now. I know we've seen him before, but he's stronger, definitely. He even looks stronger. He's got that look to him. He has that savage looking face. And honestly, I want him to fight more people than God Serena, because I don't think God Serena is that much of a threat now that he's just really a reincarnate. I want to see Gildarts go against Agnologia, or maybe even Zeref, or someone on that level. Maybe Rakid, or heck, maybe, just maybe, even like the god of Arca. I always pronounce her name, or his name wrong, but the god that put the curse on Zeref. Maybe he'll even fight him or her. I don't know if it's a she or a he. So that's kind of just going major board on the part where Gildarts fights that god. He's probably only gonna fight someone. Maybe he'll fight one of the Spriggan, like August or Aline. He may fight Xerath and he may fight Agnologia, but I'm not too sure about that. If anyone could face off against August, it would probably be Gildarts. And if anyone could probably face off Aline, it would be Gildarts, but I think the matchup with Aline is going to go against Urza. And like I've been theorizing, Aline and Urza have some connection, and I think Aline's going to have a soft spot or something, and Urza's going to see that, and he's going to, or not Urza, I'm calling Urza a he. I mean, she kind of acts like a he sometimes, but I think Urza's going to find that weak spot and take her down, or maybe by the power of friendship, Aline will join their side. I honestly don't see Aline doing that, because Aline, she reminds me of Esdeath from Akame ga Kill. I don't know if anyone's ever, like, use that relation, but that's what that's what Aline kind of reminds me of. She's kind of like Esdeath in a way, like how she's a woman who's like always fights and stuff. So that's just my opinion. Now, one thing I do want to mention before I wrap this review up is that this chapter is Fairy Tail's 10th anniversary. So let's give it a clap, guys. I'm just gonna slowly clap in the background. Don't know if you can hear it, but another thing is, we're also going to celebrate because I've been doing Fairy Tail reviews for 1 year now. Now, if you look at my playlist, I don't have 52 reviews, which 52 weeks is the amount of weeks in 1 year. And I didn't honestly start doing Fairy Tail reviews weekly until like maybe January or December. But I started back last year, so I've been doing Fairy Tail reviews for a year now, and just as far as I've come doing these reviews, like, the first review, it was terrible, and I mean, all of them were really terrible. I mean, they've gradually been getting better, and I'm really appreciative for those who have been watching my reviews, and who have been, keeping up with me, and I thank you very much. I've been doing this for a year now, like I said, doing them Fairy Tail reviews for a year, and Fairy Tail's been out for 10 years, so yeah, I mean, this series, I know a lot of people are saying this arc is probably going to be its last, but I don't think that. I think Hiro Mashima has some big plans for the series, maybe not some serious plans after this arc. I think he's going to kind of tone the serious note down and just kind of go with silly stuff after this arc, but I'm definitely going to be hanging around with Fairy Tail. So anyways, one thing I want to mention real quick before I wrap up this review is that Happy is having some hard times with, dealing with the fact that Xerath, when he dies, Natsu's going to die, and he wants to find a way out of it. So I'm honestly looking forward to the time when Gray and everyone else finds out about Natsu being END and stuff. The reason why I mentioned Gray mostly is because, well, Gray's goal is to kill END, and I just want to see what his resolve is. Also, I want to see what Lucy does. I know Lucy's probably going to be with Natsu all the way, no matter what happens, probably. The more and more I see it, I'm beginning to ship Natsu and Lucy. I'm beginning to become a Nalu fan. I was for Natsu and Lasana, but the way it's looking, they're not going to end up because, well, Hiro Mashima, if I'm correct, he hates Lasana. I don't even know why he brought her back then, honestly, because he hates her. So, honestly, I'm for Nalu more and more. So, yeah, that's all I have for this video, guys, or this review. Chapter 8 out of 10. Anyways, comment down below. Tell me what you thought of this chapter. I've dragged this video out long enough. Subscribe for more content, guys. Anyways, have a nice day. I'm out, guys.